Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, and Robert Paris, Anthony Matos with sports, Peter Brown with the weather, and Gretchen Carey with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. Burlington's first town meeting of 2024 is scheduled for next week. On Monday, January 22nd, members of Burlington's 126-member legislative body will deliberate on everything from routine zoning changes to a much-debated senior housing development to the possibility of electronic voting in their own body. Some warrant articles tackle issues we have discussed here in this program, like a potential change to zoning rules for fitness centers. Right now, large gyms like Planet Fitness need zoning exemptions to be larger than 5,000 square feet. But if the changes go through, larger gyms will be allowed in more commercial areas of town, while only boutique fitness studios will be allowed near residential areas. Also up for debate is proposed zoning changes that would allow Herb Chambers' Kia dealership to expand. BNEWS reporter Sydney Bowles spoke with attorney Mark Vaughn back in the fall, and he explained the project like this.
The new facility would have an upgraded showroom, an expanded service area, and better sidewalks and landscaping. It would also expand into the space currently occupied by two dilapidated buildings next door, more than doubling the dealership's square footage.
What this provides us is an opportunity to be able to utilize the adjacent buildings at 95 and 97 by building an addition onto the existing Kia dealership that would allow for significant upgrades to the property in terms of landscaping improvements, sidewalk that would be along the entirety of the frontage, over 400 feet of new sidewalk, as well as landscaping upgrades, stormwater upgrades, and the like.
But representatives for the dealership pulled their article at the last town meeting after pushback from residents who were concerned about traffic and changes to the community. Now Herb Chambers is trying again. The planning board has voted not to support the move, but the Economic Development Office is behind it. Tune back in to BNEWS Weekly next week, where we'll tell you how it all shook out. Or you can watch live Monday night on BCAT. Those who have been dreaming of a music venue or a bar in Burlington, we are in luck. Goodnight Johnny's is opening on Tuesday, January 30th along Cambridge Street. The restaurant will offer traditional American comfort food with menu items including prime rib, ribeye, chicken pot pie, meatloaf, and even a Wagyu beef hot dog. Goodnight Johnny's will be open for lunch and dinner 6 days a week, featuring live music on Fridays and Saturdays and live jazz brunch on Sundays. The local newsletter, Burlington Buzz, wanted to help residents connect to local government, so editor-in-chief Nikki Cadillac put together a Civic Expo held earlier this week. BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles has the story.
The Murray Kelly Wing was buzzing at the first Civic Expo as boards, committees, and local organizations shared with residents what it is exactly that they do.
We certify that the people who come to vote in Burlington are actually residents of Burlington and are able to vote. And sometimes we find that people who say they're from Burlington are really from Woburn.
I think a lot of people don't really realize what the planning board does. It's just like, I think they just think we approve projects or don't approve projects, and it's a lot more than that. It's really about thinking about, the long-range goals for the town.
So we just want to promote what all the services that we provide. Pretty much a lot of the stuff you'll see outside in roadways is all stuff we handle: water, sewer, trash, recycling.
We are civic plus cultural and community organizations, and we arrange multiple events for the growing Indian community in the Burlington.
With help from the Select Board and the Town Clerk's Office, Nikki Cadillac of the Burlington Buzz organized the event.
What I want to do is empower the residents to realize that they can and should know what's going on in town. The barrier to entry is no longer as high as it used to be, and we don't have to be kind of passive participants in our local government. We can actually become actively involved.
This event's been kicking around since before the pandemic as an idea myself, Jim Tigas, and Amy Warfield have been talking about how we can engage residents to help them better understand what all the departments within town do. It's really easy to understand what the DPW or what very resident close or resident interaction departments do, but there are so many other departments that we don't know about or don't know what they do. And we said, wouldn't it be great to bring everyone together, give folks an opportunity to come down, learn more, share an experience, and then Nikki Cadillac from the Burlington Buzz got involved, and it took on a life of its own.
I'm just really pleased at the turnout we had. We've also had the departments really came through with participation, and when Nikki and I and Nick Priest and Jim Tigas talked about this, we were worried about how many people would come, but it's just been a phenomenal turnout.
People were so excited to get their table set up and offer things for people to see and learn about and giveaways and things like that.
Residents said it was a great learning opportunity.
I've been learning about the town and what they do and what their jobs are.
I thought this was great. It was wonderful to see how many people came out, all the different departments that were here.
Well, I know that Nikki from Burlington Buzz has been trying to really educate us on everything that's going on in town, and I think it's really important to know all of these things, and this is the first time I've seen anything where everybody's in the same place at the same time to make it convenient for me.
From the Murray Kelly Wing at 61 Center Street, I'm Sydney Bowles.
Eagle-eyed residents may have noticed a cement pad going in at Simons Park recently. It's part of the renovated course to play disc golf, also known as Frisbee golf. Robert Paris has more.
New disc golf installations are in the works up at Simons Park. Burlington Parks and Recreation Director Brendan Egan showed me the recent activity that is being put in place.
It's been a long time coming. We've been working on it for a couple of years now, redesigning the holes, working with some disc golf players and some international players as well, some internationally ranked players. Simon Lizotte came and toured the course and gave us some ideas as well.
A major change of location will occur once the project is complete.
The first two holes will start on the front lawn of Simons Park, that's along Cambridge Street, and then continue up in the woods. There won't be anything over by the basketball courts or the lower baseball field anymore.
As you can see, they are not in the best of shape. Brendan describes on how they will look once they are finished.
We're replacing all of the baskets. We're going to a high visibility yellow ring on the basket so you can see it from a distance, and it's just an upgrade. They're one of the top baskets out there, so we will be putting those in, and like I said, they will be much more visible from the tee pad, so we'll be replacing those.
Parks and Rec is hoping the project will be complete next spring.
Well, we're hoping to have it wrapped up early part of the or late spring, early summer next year. We have 2 tee pads installed now for the first and second holes, and if weather permits in the early spring, we'll be able to get to work on some of the other tee pads.
From Rohannes Park, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
If there's one thing I know as someone who's been in Burlington for a long time, it's they're a town full of opinions. So when the New England Patriots announced they were parting ways with coach Bill Belichick, we figured we'd ask what people thought. Robert Paris and Sydney Bowles put this together.
Bill Belichick, one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time, has decided to part ways with the New England Patriots after 24 seasons. We talked to people around town about his legacy and see if it was the right choice the New England Patriots made.
I think they should have let him ride it out another year.
Could have kept him around for one more year, I suppose, but yeah, he'll do fine somewhere else.
He gave us 20 plus good years. We love him to death, but it was time for him to move on.
I don't think it's the right decision. I don't think he deserves this.
I think he was amazing, and he did amazing things, and if it's his time, it's his time.
I think it was a great legacy, and I think it was definitely 3 years too late.
His legacy is unparalleled. I mean, he's the best coach, if not ever, close to it. He'll go down in history.
He's the best. Him and Tom Brady, there won't be anything like that again.
There'll never be any dynasty like the Patriots.
Even these past few years haven't been that great. Like those 20 years beforehand has been pretty exceptional, so hard to beat that, I'd say.
I just hope we grab someone who's gonna rejuvenate this franchise.
We just wish it was Mike Vrabel taking over.
Yes, I agree with it. I know.
We liked Gerard,
but I think Mike
would have fit us better.
I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
Okay, I want to give my irrelevant opinion. I think it was a weak decision by Kraft. Belichick was only 14 games away from becoming the all-time winningest coach in history. And because of 3 bad years or 3 mediocre years, they're getting rid of him. If you recall, it takes a long time in between the 2 Super Bowl dynasties, really, of the Patriots. I think 8 or 9 years before their 2 runs. So in any event, we'll see how he does if he goes to Atlanta. The business community is gearing up to give back in their 6th annual Black Tie Fundraiser. It's a project of the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce Charitable Foundation, and it brings together local businesses in support of area charities. This year's gala will be held February 3rd at the Cafe Escadrille and will feature a cocktail reception, appetizers, raffle items, and of course mingling. Proper black tie attire is required. The Burlington Library is so committed to making sure everyone has access to books, they'll even bring the books to you. Chris Flaherty has the story.
The Burlington Public Library allows patrons access to everything from books and CDs to magazines and movies. Those homebound and unable to travel to the library are encouraged to partake in their material delivery program.
Basically, we found a need in the community for patrons who can't get to the library, either from sickness or family issues or for whatever reason, but they still want to receive library services. So we have coordinated a group of volunteers who are willing to bring the items to the patrons, and the staff here at the library chooses what they want or works with the patrons in order to get them the materials that they want, and we bring them out to their homes for them. Right now we have only patrons receiving books. Volunteers deliver the last Monday of every month. So we check the items out from Monday to the last Monday of the next month. So it's about a 6-week period. If a patron wanted a DVD or a magazine, something that checked out for a shorter period of time, we would have to adjust that. But right now we've only have book materials circulating, so it's like about a 6-week period.
Any resident of Burlington is eligible for the delivery program. Those wishing to sign themselves or a loved one up can visit the library website or contact Assistant Director Cara Enos.
And then I will reach out to them, see exactly what it is that they're looking for, what their needs are, and then we match them with a library staff person to choose their materials and make sure they're getting what they want.
Avid readers are grateful to have access to library materials again through the delivery program.
We put a slip in each book asking them what they thought of the book. Did they like it? Did they read it? So we get feedback on individual books, but we get a lot of appreciative feedback because they're very grateful to get their reading materials, especially patrons who have always been readers and suddenly they don't have access to materials. We only hear positive things from the patrons who are using this service, which is why we are seeking more patrons to use this service.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
The actors in the BHS Theater Department are hard at work on their latest theatrical production. The play, called The Dining Room, opens February 2nd in the Fogelberg Auditorium. The play includes both a full production and a shortened one-act version, which will be entered in the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild One-Act Festival in March. We wish the BHS thespians the best of luck. It was July of last year when Burlington began offering residential food waste pickup from the local company Black Earth Composting, and now the schools are in on it also. Tad Stefanak reports.
Burlington Public Schools have begun composting food waste in their cafeteria kitchens.
We started with all 6 schools, so in the cafeteria side alone, all the scraps that's produced during setup and prep will be composted. As we move further into the project, we'll move into the cafeterias themselves for actual student use, but right now, in all 6 kitchens. Black Earth is a local company that's doing composting in Burlington, and we're actually using them for the schools as well, too. So, like I said, each school has one 64-gallon tote. Right now, that does a weekly pickup, so we'll collect compostable waste for 1 full week. Pickups will be on Wednesday. As we grow our compost, we can obviously expand that service, but right now 1 barrel per building. So standard tote, inside there's a compostable liner. The cafeteria staff will put the compostable items inside, and then weekly they'll take the compostable liner and all the compost inside. During the pickup, they'll replace the liner and we'll start all over again. Get as much as that compostable waste out of the trash and then more into compost that can be reused for good fertilizer and soil.
From the cafeteria kitchen of Burlington High School, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
There are also home composting bins available at the DPW for sale. A luminary of Burlington public life has passed away this week. Joan Hastings was a founding member of Burlington's representative town meeting, and she was the first ever 50-year member of the legislative body. She was also a poll worker, working the polls at local elections along with her husband Ed, often starting at 6 a.m. and not leaving till 8 p.m. We send our condolences to Joan's friends and family. She will be missed. The Burlington Science Center teaches that creatures might be strange or unfamiliar, deserve our empathy and curiosity. No creature might test that theory more than the tarantula. It's critters up close.
Besides the creepy crawly cockroaches, Curly Sue the tarantula might be the most feared creature at the Burlington Science Center. Wendy Pavlicek says she can understand the fear.
They have many of things, many legs on their body, lots of kind of hairs. They have lots of different eyes. They have actually 8 sets of eyes, 8 eyes.
When Wendy takes Curly Sue to meet Burlington students, the lesson is all about getting comfortable with the unfamiliar.
So when people think of spiders, oh, spiders bite. Yes, but you and I, we bite as humans. Dogs can bite, cats can bite, but that's not a reason just to be fearful of an animal.
Yeah. Oh boy. She is really making some web right now.
So part of having an exoskeleton and not being a vertebrate, being an invertebrate, is that as those animals grow, their body covering, that exoskeleton, needs to also grow. So they do a process called molting or shedding. And what happens is their outside shell or exoskeleton splits open, and then the tarantula is inside and kind of crawls out of the old exoskeleton. And when tarantulas do this specifically, they flip upside down on their back. It's just the way that it's designed to come out of the exoskeleton. So teachers will regularly call me and say, oh my gosh, the tarantula's passed away, it's dead. And I say, no, give it 24 hours. Then they call me and say, oh, it's had a baby. And they say, no, it hasn't had a baby. It's just molted.
The lesson that I hope students take away from Curly Sue is that we are all unique, we are all special, and that we should respect and celebrate those unique differences.
The things that nightmares are made of. It was a big week for BHS sports with a 40-year record broken and multiple athletes acknowledged statewide. Here's Anthony Matos with the latest.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, this weekly sports report. Another big week in sports for the Devils. The Boston Globe has named a few athletes from Burlington High on their Middlesex League All-Star list. Volleyball defensive specialist Karina Boyajev, setter Ula Rinkevuche, and outside hitter Grace Seaman, who was also named Most Valuable Player. On the varsity football team, 6 athletes were named Honorable Mention All-Stars. Lineman Charlie Andriolo, wide receiver Ryan Brooks, quarterback Anthony Garrier, wide receiver Charlie Hannafin, running back Joe Poland, and lineman Tyler Vadney. Congrats to everyone. With a time of 1:01:30, BHS swimmer Shea Woodbury has broken a school record for the 100-meter backstroke that stood since 1980 when George Cummings came in at 1:01:64. Here is Shea.
Well, it was a very good record. Very nice achievement to find out about after the meet, and the plan is to keep getting the record lower and lower. So, record now, states next. It was a pretty big honor because my dad's also on the record books, so felt kind of good to be there with my father. So
this is actually funny. I think this is the first time in a long time that we have a father-son duo on the list.
Congratulations, Shea. The team is 0-4 after an 83-75 loss to Melrose on January 11th. Burlington will host Winchester on January 18th at Shaw Sheen Swimming Pool. Updates next week. Lady Devils Gymnastics are 2-0 after a 136.8 to 134.7 win over Melrose on the 11th. The meet was against Arlington was postponed. On January 18th, the team will be in Wakefield. Senior Ava Shank Davis has made plans after high school. Let's go to BNEWS Sports reporter Robert Paris to find out more.
Cornell University is where Ava Shank Davis will be going this fall after she received an acceptance letter.
It was a letter of intent, but it was sort of not an official one just yet since I can't do it until we're actually into the school. So that's the letter I got. But it was saying that I'm going for gymnastics at Cornell.
Head coach Michelle Gillis has seen Ava grow as a freshman. Now, as a senior captain, she has been a mentor to the younger athletes on the team.
So she's doing a great job as one of our captains. So she teaches them, she shows them, she just takes them under her wing and just really makes them feel comfortable as they're learning.
The season is not over just yet, but Ava knows that this will be the last time she will be competing as a Red Devil.
So it was really great to be a part of a team and contribute to a team. That's going to be how college is like. And I just learned how to like work with the other girls really well and just learn from them and like different things that they've taught me, like how to just be calmer and just enjoy the sport more.
So, what was Ava's favorite events to compete in?
I really enjoy doing bars and floor, but especially floor since I can just like dance around and just have fun out there.
The next chapter awaits for the star athlete on the floor for the Cornell Big Reds.
I hope she's learned that gymnastics is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and to just accept what you do and be happy with it and do it for the love of it.
I'm really just going to miss competing with all the girls here. They really truly are such good friends of mine. But I'm looking forward to all the meets at Cornell and just getting to know all the girls there because they're all really nice, and I'm just super excited for that.
From Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
Girls and boys indoor track teams compete at the MSTCA Northeast Invitational on the weekend of the 15th. You can check out the full results at athletic.net. The boys track team secured the Middlesex League Freedom Division title after a 51-49 win over Wakefield, finishing undefeated with a 5-0 record this season. They defeated Wilmington 61-39 the previous week. The MSTCA D3 relays will be next on the Reggie Lewis Center on January 21st. As for the girls, Lady Devils finished out their two final regular season meets on January 9th and 15th. On the 9th, the girls were at the BU Track and Tennis Center with Wilmington, where they fell 42-58, but they closed it out on a high note with a 53-47 win over Wakefield. Their final record in the Middlesex Freedom League division was 2-3. Girls basketball are 1-9 after two losses to Wakefield 45-27 and Woburn 60-38. The boys are now 6-5 after an 80-65 win over Wakefield on the 12th and an 81-56 win over Woburn on the 17th. Wilmington Wildcats visit Burlington on the 19th for both teams. Updates next week. Lady Devils hockey are on fire this season with an 8-1 record. They had two shutout wins over Wakefield 2-0 on the 13th and a 2-0 win over Malden Catholic on the 17th. Burlington will be in Hingham on Saturday. The boys are 5-5-1 after a 2-1 loss to Wakefield, but they regrouped and won in Brookline 5-2. The Devils will be in Wilmington on Saturday. Updates on both those games and more next week. In a continuation of a tough season, Red Devil Wrestling fell to 1-12 for the season after a 75-6 loss to Melrose on January 10th. The meet against Woburn was canceled. The athletes will now face Bishop Hendricken High School on January 20th. For more Red Devil action, go to bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for now. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
Now let's turn to Peter Brown for the weather, and stay tuned for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown, the Wish weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading in towards the end of January. I know we have had quite a wintry stretch over the past couple of weeks here in the Burlington area. That looks like that's going to take a little bit of a respite for a while, as we're going to have a fairly pleasant week coming up. So that's something to look forward to. Starting at our period on Friday, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year in the mid-30s. And Friday, it's going to be pretty chilly out there, probably going to be stuck in the mid to upper 20s and maybe some light snow. And then as we round out the period getting in towards next Thursday, we should see temperatures again still in the mid-30s. This is the coldest part of the year, so we only have up to go from here. And it looks like by next Thursday, our temperatures are going to be in the low 50s maybe, so pretty nice out there. As we go ahead, let's take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next week or so. Looking at our temperature map, looks like we have a very good chance here in the Burlington area of having above average temperatures. Again, I don't see that really happening until we get in towards next work week and towards the middle of next work week. Looking at our precipitation chances, looks like we're going to be expecting average precipitation. Actually, I think it might be a little bit drier than that out there, so a little bit of a break from all of that snow and ice that we saw in the past couple of days here in Burlington. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting on our period on Friday, looks like we might have some very light snow and breezy conditions here in the Burlington area. Again, doesn't look like much, maybe just a dusting to maybe an inch, maybe a little bit less, who knows. Just stay tuned to that, but it doesn't look like anything serious and very chilly, only in the mid to upper 20s. Then Saturday Sun comes back out, and it is going to be bone chilling. It is going to be breezy out there. Temperatures struggling to get out of the teens. We recover a little bit by Sunday when our temperatures go back up into the mid to upper 20s. But then as we get into Monday and Tuesday, that's when the sun will be back with us. Temperatures will be warming back up to near average and slightly above by Tuesday. Now on Wednesday, we may see the chance of maybe a little bit of light rain and snow very early in the morning. This is going to be ahead of a warm front coming in with temperatures boosting us up into the mid 40s on Wednesday. And then look at that on Thursday. Sunny skies out there, and it looks like we're going to be trying to make a run at 50. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils!
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On January 23rd from 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m., the BHS Interact Club will be having a fundraiser at the Chateau. Lunch, dinner, or takeout. Simply let your server know to flag your check. If you order online, be sure to add the item fundraiser to your cart. On January 25th from 6:30 to 9:30, Burlington Women Aid will be having a ladies' night potluck fundraiser for Kelly Floyd. For more information, go to the Community Calendar section of our website. On January 26th from 7:15 to 9 p.m., the Arthur Murray Dance Studio will be having a In the 80s open house. For more information, call 781-229-7970. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
And as we do every week, we're coming to a close with a photo sent in by a member of the community. This one comes from Evan McNamee from a recent trip to Gettysburg. Looks much greener there, that's for sure. We'd like to highlight your photo here. It could be a family pet, a scene from around town, or something from your travels outside of Burlington. Email it to us at bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's our program for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Phil Gallagher. I'll see you next week.